All right, welcome back into Rothman and Ice. It's a Gold Jacket Thursday, and this introduction is going to be a good one because he came from a town of 150. He went undrafted in a 12-round draft, but 219 games and 137 and a half sacks later, he earned his way into Canton, the Pro Football Hall of Famer, 2010, the class regulators. Mount up. My man, John Randle, in the house from Canton. How we feeling, JR?
I'm feeling great, man. Glad to be on here talking to you guys.
No doubt. Let's go back in time a little bit. 245 pounds going into the league, kind of an unknown or really an unknown. How did you convince the Vikings to sign you, especially after a couple others didn't? And can you confirm the story that you found a way around the weight scale?
I can't confirm that story. I put on a chain, weighed about 10 pounds, and my roommate, who's my old roommate, I talk to all the time, can confirm it too because he was there with me where we went to a hardware store. I bought a 10-pound chain because I was 240 pounds, and the chain put me at 250, and it allowed me to make the team or get a chance to make the team when my defensive coordinator named Floyd Peters at the time, he wasn't too particular keen to bringing in rookies, but being 250 allowed me a chance to make the team.
It's amazing. John, one thing I couldn't wait to ask you about was those battles you had with Brett Favre, just two Hall of Famers going at it, division rivals, you an all-time great for Minnesota. Obviously, Brett was an all-time great for Green Bay. Take us inside those moments and what you remember about going at it with Brett Favre.
Well, actually, I wasn't really going against Brett Favre. I was going against Frank Winters, the center, because Frankie would tell me at the beginning of the game that I wasn't going to get to Brett. So I had to get by Frankie Winters and the guard. So, but getting by Frank and getting to Brett, you knew if we didn't get to him that Brett Favre had one of the strongest arms in the NFL and that he had a habit of just tearing teams apart, but our battles twice a year, especially playing in Green Bay, going out to Lambeau Field, and the battles were where you were just not just playing against Brett or the team, you were always playing against the fans because not many people realize this, but in Green Bay they have this corny song that goes, dun, 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 go, Pat, go. And I hated that song, and every time we played them there, you would hear it. And for us as defensive guys, we said if we could get to Brett Favre, maybe they won't play that song, and we could get out without having those earworms in our head or hearing that music. But our battles were epic because he was such a hero to the Green Bay Packers fans, and for them, He is iconic. He's a great competitor, and he also just doesn't get the offense going, but he also gets the defense going because when they see him having so much success, it really pushes them to play better. And for so many years, he was just a thorn in our sides.
We are talking with the Hall of Fame defensive lineman from the Minnesota Vikings, John Randle, here on Rothman and Ice from Canton. Listen, it was a big reason why Favre went 1-7 in the 90s in the Metrodome. You had a lot to do with that. Did you? I'll bridge off that question. Did you get more intense when you knew who the quarterback was, whether it was Favre or Steve Young or name any of them, Aikman, Kelly, Elway, Marino, like guys that did it feel different when you knew who was back there?
Yes, it did. I mean, for us, since Brett was such a huge threat for us, when we were in practice, our quarterback bag, we always kept the number 4 on it just to make sure that we may have been playing San Fran or Detroit, but we were always thinking about Brett Favre. So we always knew that he was our arch enemy. But playing against Steve Young, who was one of these guys who actually was an actor, he's probably in the Screen Actors Guild, but when you played against Steve Young, you have to be careful because man, he would fall down and act as if someone had hit him in the head or someone roughed him. So playing against Steve, we wasn't as aggressive with Steve, but as we were with Brett. But we knew Steve, having Jerry and all his weapons, that we made sure that we had to play mistake-free defense against Steve. But Brett, though, for us, he was always, for us in Minnesota, we would always say, for us to, no matter what type of season we had to beat Green Bay.
Outside of your amazing play on the field down there in the trenches, John, one thing you're known for is the eye black. Take us inside that story, how it started, and why you wanted to look like that out there on Sundays underneath that helmet.
The eye black started because we've had my teammates were some guys from Florida State and some guys from Texas, and we all were talking about how we played in high school, and we always wanted to emulate being the best players on Friday night. But since we were on Sunday night, that we wanted to be the best players on Sunday night. So some of my guys were comparing ourselves to saying that we were in a war and we wanted to represent our military. So we wanted to put a little eye black on. And as I started watching my teammates put it on, they got a little bit too excessive with the eye black. And I just started to rub mine underneath my eyes because I just couldn't believe what some of these guys were trying to do with this face paint. And I kind of came up with that little design. And me being a very superstitious person, I said if I went out there and I got 3 sacks, that I would have to do it the following week. And from that point on, the eye black just kind of grew into what it was.
John Randle with us. Yes, commando for sure with that eye black. It was awesome. Did you want other linemen to think you were a little bit unhinged? I mean, obviously the talk was fantastic and getting under guys' skin, but, you know, the barking and all that, did you want linemen to think you were a little bit crazy is a strong word. I'll stay with unhinged.
Actually, yes, I did. Since I was undersized, most of the time when I lined up with my defensive line guys, people always looked at me as the one guy that they was going to go after. And for me, I just wanted to be a small dog with a big bark. And by having the face paint, by doing the talking, I was hoping that it convinced them not to go after me, but to go after my teammates. But it didn't really help in the beginning. But as I started to try to perfect it, it started to deter guys from going after me and going after my teammate because, man, I was only 6'1", 250, and I remember one year we played Jackie Slater, and Jackie looked out at us, and he looked at me, and he said, "We're going to get the little guy. We got to get the little guy." And it was like they were always just bullying and picking on me, and so by just trying to have talk a lot, be a big boys out there, put on some black face paint, I just thought that maybe it would just help me become more of a vested player or a guy that they respected more.
They certainly did. They had to find 93. No matter where you were, they had to find you, whether it was a spin move, a bull rush, a swim move, whatever it was. You were always there. He is a Hall of Famer, and you can go ahead and meet and talk with John Randle tomorrow at the Hall. He'll be there. He's going to be the greeter in the lobby. He'll even surprise some people in the bust room. You can get your picture by his bust in the gallery at noon to 12:30. So what an opportunity for people here that loved you and love pro football to come up there and interact with one of the best. You know what I've admired? You've never forgotten where you came from. Small town kid, made big, and I've always admired that about you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And I didn't bring up 1998. Are you proud of me?
Very proud. Thank you very much for doing it.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's tough, right? Most unstoppable team, the best team that didn't get it done. Does it stick with you? I'll ask you just that little part of it. How long did it take to get over that, and do you ever think about it?
Every time I hear that song from Will Smith about going to Miami, it brings it back up.
I hear you. All right. Stay away from that, JR. This is awesome. I hope the fans come up and meet and greet you. I know they will. Stay well, keep bleeding purple, and we thank you for this.